What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is that special time of the month again. Got the package from Vinegar Syndrome today. Very, very happy to have this in my fucking hands. Every time I get a package and I see this tape on there, I just can't help but to fucking smile. Because even though I already know what's in here, you guys probably already know what's in here. This is the September package, right? September? Yeah. I wish they came earlier than they do, like they used to. I don't know, they used to come like middle of the month, and now it's like the end of the month. But, you know, it is what it is. And if you guys haven't seen, they did announce what the VSU is for being Vinegar Syndrome Ultra. And they have announced their first release for that line being Beastmaster in a really, really cool case. I'll try to throw up an image or something. You guys already probably know what it looks like. If you guys are Vinegar Syndrome collectors, you guys have gotten the emails, been at the site, all that kind of stuff. But if you haven't, I'll throw something up here for you guys, and you guys can check out that Beastmaster. I can't ever fucking talk. You guys know that shit. Alright. They did, release 4Ks already, with Tammy and the T-Rex and Rad and everything. But this is going to be like a special line, and they're going to be stuff that's more non-horror related, kind of like those were, even though Tammy and the T-Rex had some elements in it. But they're going to be more action type movies and things like that, But very excited for it. I mean, I've seen Beastmaster, when I was younger, like bits and pieces of it here and there, but I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through, so I'm pretty excited to get that. Of course, I already did the pre-order on the flash sale and everything, so, and they did announce a couple of other titles as well, but there's still 2 secret ones for the Black Friday announcement. But anyway, you guys are here for the box. Let's use our piece of knife. I can't talk. My mouth feels fucking numb. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, still haven't gotten a replacement for my knife. I don't know. Everyone has their stick here on YouTube, so I guess having a broken knife is mine. Just having the blade is my thing. So let's open this up. Got our packing list. Some paper, and we have our bundle. This does include as well the VSA release, the Vinegar Syndrome Archive. Alright, so I know this is a pretty weak package this month. From what I hear, these movies are not very good, at least most of them. But let's just go through them real quick, and then I'll open them up and show you guys the insides and everything, and read the synopsises. Alright, so we have Killing Birds, also known as Zombie 5. This is one I'm not hearing anything good about. So we'll see. We'll get these reviewed for you guys. Included in this video. Here's the back of the slip. Alrighty. And then we have Ladromus de Tumbas. I don't know. I don't speak. I believe this is a Mexican horror film. So I don't really speak Spanish or read Spanish. I believe that's what that is anyways. Alrighty. Just checking out all the slipcover goodies here. Everything is good so far. This is also known as Grave Robbers. Okay. Cool. I like how there's even artwork. I know you guys can't probably see it, but there's even artwork on the inside of the slip as well. Let me see if I can show that or not. Doesn't look like it's going to pick up. But there's even artwork on the inside of the slipcover. That is really, really cool. That's crazy. I think there's a few of them that are like that. Anyway. And then the last one for the actual package, being the one I've heard nothing but terrible things about, and I've seen some clips of this, and it looks absolutely absolutely fucking terrible. The only one I haven't really heard anything bad about is the Grave Robbers, so we'll see. But this is Memorial Valley Massacre. This looks like absolute dog shit. I feel like I have like a really bad lisp. I don't know. Let me know, guys, if I sound different, because I feel like I do. Anyways, an action-packed adventure here on the back. Cool tagline. And it looks really cool. But I believe this is a very deceiving looking title. Here's your inside. And like I say, we'll get them all opened up, flip around the inserts, and go over the features and synopsises for you guys, and then we'll go into the reviews. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do the reviews. I usually do them I've only done this a couple times where I include the reviews, and I usually do them my least favorite to my favorite. But it takes me so long to get to these. Sometimes by the time I'm done, I forget some about like the first title. So I might just review them one after the other as I'm watching them and not forget so much shit. Anyways, we have Spellcaster for our VSA release, Vinegar Syndrome Archive number 8. Number 8. And here is the back. Or maybe that's the front. I don't know. Which way is it in there? Yep, this is the front. Okay. And this is number 1369 out of 4,000. Yeah. Cool. I don't have a whole lot of energy this video. I know I try to be really energetic for you guys and entertaining. But I'm just not, and I usually don't record unless I do feel that way, but I just want to get this video rolling so we can start watching these. Here's the inside. So I'm going to open all these up. I'll save you guys the agony of watching me open them, and we'll just cut back to when it's done. Cool? Awesome. Alright guys, everything is out of the plastic and all that good stuff, and it's a good thing I didn't do that in front of you guys, because I fought with trying to put that VSA release, back in its slip case there, and I hate those boxes. I mean, I like the way they look and everything, but man, they're a pain in the ass to get back in there. So I just left everything out of their slips for now. But anyways, starting with Killing Birds, or Zombie 5, or Raptors, as the reverse insert says. Here, this is from 1987, runs 92 minutes. A group of college-aged ornithologists, I don't know what that word is, have taken a class trip deep into the wilderness on a quest to find a study of rare and possibly extinct species of bird. Despite receiving ominous warnings, both human and avian, they set up camp in a musty old house, only to find themselves under siege from mysterious supernatural forces. But it's not just the house or the hordes of hungry birds they have to worry about. They quickly realize they are also going to have to contend with a group of bloodthirsty zombies who have descended on the deserted farmhouse. A positively jaw-dropping slice of late 80s horror, as only Italians are capable of imagining. Claudio, I don't know his last name, Killing Birds, aka Zombie 5 and Raptors, is in everything in the everything but the kitchen sink styled thriller, which piles on gore and insane plot twist, starring Lara Wendell from Tenebrae and Robert Vaughn from Good Luck Miss Wyckoff, and produced by Exploitation Otter, I guess, I don't know. Joe D'Amato. Vinegar Syndrome brings Killing Birds to Blu-ray for the first time, newly restored in 2K from the original negative. You have a new scan in 2K from the 35mm original negative. Includes 2 soundtracks, English, original English language and Italian dubbed. Talons, an extended video interview with writer-director Claudio Latanzi. Birds of a Feather, a video interview with soundman Larry Revenet. Brand new audio commentary with film historian and author Sam Digum. Original theatrical trailer in English, original theatrical trailer Italian, of course the reverse art, English subtitles, and all that good stuff. So it runs 92 minutes from 1987, region free as usual. So that is Zombie 5, Killing Birds, Raptors, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And man, my mouth just feels really weird. It feels really numb. So yeah, cool. Here's the spine here for you guys that love your spinach. All right, moving on. Before we move on, if you guys would take a second to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, the bell, and all that good shit. I don't feel like I say that enough in my videos. I feel pushy. I don't know, but fucking do it. Just hit that fucking subscribe button. No, you don't really have to. It's fine. All right, moving on to Grave Robbers here. I gotta say, this reverse insert looks nothing like the fucking slipcover. It doesn't look nearly as dark. But here you go. If that doesn't scream fucking 80s cheese, I don't know what does. You got the fucking bandanas on. You got the fucking... Yeah, look at that shit, man. Yeah. Looks like a fucking, like, Mexican Magnum P.I. going on or some shit with that mustache. Awesome. So anyway, I did not show the inside. Fuck, man. What am I doing? Did not show the inside of Killing Birds here. Zombie 5. Here's your disc art too. That's what they went with for the disc. Same as the slip, I guess. Anyways, so yeah, Grave Robbers. This is from 1989. I believe these are all 80s releases, by the way. Runs 88 minutes. So here we go. In the early Spanish colonial age, the leader of a satanic sect was condemned to eternal damnation by a priest, and was left to rot with an axe forever embedded in his chest. Now, in modern day, a group of teenage treasure-seeking grave robbers accidentally uncover his hidden tomb, dislodging the axe in the process. But what they don't realize is they've unwittingly reawakened the diabolic killer, who promptly sets out to complete his unholy mission of spawning the son of Satan, while brutally butchering anyone who happens to get in the way. Heavily inspired by late 80s slasher films, Grave Robbers is one of the best forgotten films to come from Mexico's oft overlooked. That's kind of Mexico's oft. I believe that might supposed to be saying often instead of oft. Let me know. Overlooked 80s horror boom. There's like a lot of weird spacing, like double spaced in between the words and shit. We might get a replacement insert for this one. I don't know. With exceptional production value, gruesome death scenes, and a relentless killer akin to his many American counterparts, Grave Robbers feels right at home with any of the other later entries in the Friday 13th series. Vinegar Syndrome is proud to present this hidden gem of Mexican splatter on Blu-ray for the first time, newly scanned in 4K from the original 35mm negative. So, along with the new scan, you have Unearthing the Past, an interview with director Ruben Galindo Jr., commentary track with the Hysteria Continues, of course the reverse art, English subs, and another region-free disc here. And here is your inside, your disc art. Cool. Put that back in its case here, and here's your spinach. This is Vinegar Syndrome 331, by the way. Killing Birds being 333. For anyone who keeps track of the numbers for the releases here. Alright, the last one of the actual package here. Memorial Valley Massacre. I believe this had another title, like it was just Memorial Day or Memorial Valley or something like that. Anyways, this is from 1988. Runs 93 minutes. This is Region A locked, by the way. Region A there. Yeah, there. There's an A. Anyways, Evil Land developer Alan Sangster has just opened his latest tourist trap, the Memorial Valley Campground, as carloads of happy campers arrive for what they assume will be a weekend of fun in the great outdoors. A much more sinister presence is watching them from a nearby wilderness. When campers start turning up dead, their bodies brutally mangled, George, the head forest ranger, is tasked with finding the killer and putting an end to the bloodshed. But it seems he might know much about. But it seems he might know much more about the sinister killings than he's letting on. Sorry. You guys know I can't fucking read. Come on. Shot under the title Memorial Day. Yep, there we go. Okay. And released internationally as Valley of Death, Memorial Valley Massacre is a cheerfully absurd direct-to-video slasher featuring imaginative deaths and wild choice for a killer. Directed by Robert C. Hughes, Hunter's Blood, and starring John Kerry from Dolomite, William Smith from Red Dawn, and genre film icon Cameron Mitchell, The Toolbox Murders. Vinegar Syndrome presents Memorial Valley Massacre in its official disc debut, newly restored in 4K from the original camera negative. So along with the new restoration, you have Welcome to Memorial Valley, an interview with director Robert C. Hughes, Ranger Danger, an interview with actor John Kerry, promotional still gallery, and reversible art gallery. Yeah, it feels fucking numb as shit all up in here. I'm like, shit's not working. Anyways, it wouldn't be one of my videos if I could talk correctly, right? Right. So, I mean, just that fucking cover art, man. That just, I mean, look at this shit. Looks like it's fucking awesome, but I know it's not. I hope it surprises me, and what I saw on YouTube and shit is just a fluke thing, maybe. I don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to be absolute dog shit. But we'll see. We'll get to it. I love how the slip just keeps going. I mean, not all the way inside, but it's the added little touches, you know? Here's your spines. Cool. Alright. Moving on to Spellcaster. 1988, 83 minutes. These are all pretty short. They seem like they're all under 90 minutes. Interesting. Can't tell what that is. I know my insert to Memorial Valley was kind of janked up. And it looks like this one might be as well. Yep. Oh well. What are you gonna do, you know? Like they had a hard time getting their inserts in. Let me know if you guys had any issues with your inserts as well, where they're kind of like bent over, kind of bent over, kind of folded over a little bit, kind of revealing some, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, Spellcaster, and you do get a poster with this too. I'll get to that. A group of strangers have been invited to partake in a promotional televised treasure hunt at a remote Italian castle, with the winner walking away with a $1 million fortune. But the old Gothic building has some diabolical tricks up its sleeve, and it's not long before the guests begin to fall victim to its demonic secrets. All the while, the surviving guests begin to come up with creative and deadly ways to try to locate the hidden treasure. One of the series of Castle films made in the mid-'80s by notorious exploitation producer Charles Band, Puppet Master, you guys all know from Full Moon and all that good shit. Spellcaster is a creature effect-filled supernatural horror film starring 80s new wave music icon Adam Ant, lead singer of Adam and the Ants, legendary 80s radio personality Richard Blade, alongside Gail O'Grady from NYPD Blue, and photographed by Fulci's regular DP Sergio Savolti, who did the Beyond, Zombie, and all that kind of stuff. Vinegar Syndrome Archive presents Spellcaster, a newly restored in 2K. I almost said Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome Achieve. Yeah, Archive. Fucking goddamn. Anyways, so yeah, this is an old Empire Pictures release before they became a Full Moon. So cool, cool. Oh yeah, the inside. Yeah, there you go. That's what they chose to go with there. Yeah, your reverse is just the same as the back of the slip box here, but I prefer that because you have a woman showing like the top of her breast, so that's cool. Um, and then you have your, as usual, your kind of banged up poster, the bent edges, but who gives a shit, right? Does anybody hang these up? Let me know in the comments. That'll tell me if you're still watching or not. If you hang up your posters, these are the ones you get with the Arrow box sets. If you guys buy those or anything, do you guys hang these up? I don't think there's one I'd hang up yet from here, but you got your. I might hang, that other side up, but yeah, cool, cool. It's a fucking Spellcaster poster. I mean, I think if I walked into somebody's house that had a Spellcaster poster hung up, it would demand an explanation. A conversation would arise from that. Like, dude, fucking Spellcaster. Now, you guys can watch me struggle to get this in here. I mean, you go to put it in, and it hits the top of the insert. Trying to... It's just not possible. How do you do it? I mean, I don't think I've ever had this much problem with one. I got to kind of push in on the sides on the case there. Anyways, Spellcaster. Sweet, sweet. Here's your spines. Awesome, awesome. So I'm excited for Spellcaster and Grave Robbers, so regardless. But we're going to watch them all. We're going to get them reviewed for you guys. And we're going to have a good fucking time doing it, right? So stick around for that. It's all going to be in this one long-ass fucking video just for you guys. Because I fucking love you guys. And, yeah. Let's roll on with the reviews. Alright, guys. So, on to the reviews here. So the first one I decided to watch was Memorial Valley Massacre. Or, as the opening titles will have it, just Memorial Day. I love when that happens too. I love when the title sequence is different than the title on the disc. Of course, as you saw in the unboxing, it was already, it went under Memorial Day as the working title and also known as Valley of Death. So, again, this is from 1988 and it ran 93 minutes. It seemed really long though. It seemed like it was like 2 hours long. But not in a bad way. This one actually really surprised me, guys. I really thought this was going to be complete crap by the clips that I saw, as I mentioned previously. And, wow, this was actually very fucking entertaining. Just a really short, brief synopsis. Of course, I already read the back synopsis. Very, very simple story, alright? You have a group of people, a bunch of people trying to get into this park for Memorial Day weekend, and things kind of go awry right off the bat. Speaking of right off the bat as well, I will say I was a little concerned with the opening to this, as people are pulling up to the park and it's focusing on them, and then it focuses on just nature, and it looks like the nature shots were either one, done by a completely different camera than they used to do the actual filming, or it is like stock footage, because there's a complete night and day difference between the quality of picture. But after that, the picture quality is actually really good. The sound is fucking amazing. I love the sound to this movie. It sounds fucking excellent. But anyways, so everyone's lined up, waiting to get into this park. Things go, like I said, awry, like right off the bat. They find a dead dog in the well for the drinking water, and I really, we'll get into that here in a second. Anyways, so everybody gets to the camp, and then they start getting picked off one by one by a young, I won't say child, but like a 15 to, I don't know, 20-year-old fucking kid, teenager, young adult, whatever. I don't know how old this kid was. that looks like a mix between a caveman from like the Geico commercials and fucking Joe Dirt. Okay, if them two collaborated somehow and everything, you would have this fucking caveman that's in this movie, and starts picking off the campers one by one. Pretty simple plot line. There is also a subplot where somewhere in the film early on, there was a mention of some meeting that was supposed to take place, and the main guy running the camp was supposed to pick up this child that he had or something at this site before it was the camp, and the kid was never found or whatever. So he believes this caveman could be his son. Okay, so you have that side plot as well, and you have some love story going on between David, the other main character in here. I forgot to write everybody's fucking name down, so let's see if it says on the back here. Okay, so you have Alan Sangster and David being his son. Alan Sangster is played by Cameron Mitchell, who was only in the beginning of this movie. I believe during the interviews they said he was only on set for like a day or two, and he's not in this very much. Of course, Cameron Mitchell has been in a ton of films, like damn near like 500 credits to his name on IMDb, and very recognizable face, very recognizable character. But he's only in it for a brief moment. Doesn't get killed off or anything, so I'll just spoil that for you right off the bat. He's just not in it very long. He's there for like the opening ceremony of the park, and that's all we see of him. But yeah, you do have a side story, like I said, between David and I forget the chick's name. There is like a little like love story going on with that, and you have a little side story going on with two guys and a girl. Who are like a threesome, I guess, but there's no like sex involved. There's no nudity in this movie whatsoever. There is some kind of see through the wet shirt as this chick's out dancing in the rain type nudity, I guess, sort of, kind of, but not any like straight on nudity or nothing like that, which this kind of movie really should have. But you know, I'm not going to be too picky about it because it did have some good gore effects. Not too bad. I was actually pleasantly surprised by some of the effects in this film, and just surprised by it altogether. Anyways, yeah, where was I? I'm gonna try to make these reviews like really short too, because we've already spent enough time talking about these movies. But there's a part where eventually you find the cave that he is living in, and they find a body in the cave, and the main ranger, is like, well, it could be my son, and all this kind of stuff, and they're like, so fucking what, we got to put an end to this. Yeah, it's like I said, a very, very simple story, but I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. I really did. I did not think I would, and I just had a great time with it. It's never really too boring. You do have some bikers in here as well, who are like the wimpiest fucking bikers I've ever seen. There's actually a scene where one of them is being chased by this caveman, and he is like twice the size of this fucking kid, and just running away like a little bitch. And yeah, he's got like a fucking spear thing, but you can take him. Yeah, it's a fun time, guys. It really is. It's one to throw on if you're just looking for some mindless entertainment. And actually, the acting overall, the main characters, you have in here, what's his name? Robert, is it Robert Hughes? No, sorry. John Kerry, and you have William Smith in here too, who is plays this ex-military guy, and just a big motherfucker. And him and John Kerry and the guy that played David, they all did really good. Your main people in here did really good. Now your not main actors, your supporting actors, not so much. The bikers, terrible. The two guys that are with the girl, fucking terrible. But it's a straight to video fucking B movie. What do you want? I mean, you had Cameron Mitchell in here. I mean, be happy with that. But I keep forgetting names. And this is why I wanted to do them right after I watch them, because I'll forget fucking everything. John Kerry did fucking excellent. I really loved his performance. I thought it was very strong. And the guy that played David, again, very, very strong performance from him. And I'm going to do all the kills at the end, guys, of this video. That way you guys can tune out if you don't want spoilers. But some of the kills were like, really? That's it? Some of them you can definitely see at least one in particular. And if you guys have seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's a fire stunt that takes place. And it's an obvious stuntman for the first few seconds of the shot. Like full face mask covering and everything. Which we'll get to when I get to spoiling everything for you. But overall, I really recommend this one, guys. I highly recommend this one. I was really on the fence about it. I figured I'd get like what I thought would be the worst of the bunch out of the way, and one of the ones I wouldn't really have to pay attention to the most out of the way. And this thing fucking surprised me. So kudos to Vinegar Syndrome, man. Excellent job. Like I said, the sound is fucking amazing. The video quality is really good. Besides those opening shots. But what really threw me off, and I said I was going to get back to this when I was talking about the water supply. What really threw me off is I really thought that was going to play a big part in this movie. Okay, they don't have any water. They can't go to the bathroom, so they're out digging holes to take a shit and go to the bathroom and everything. I really thought that was going to come back later in the film to be a way somebody died or something. Like the kid was going to come up out of one of the holes they fucking dug or something while they're taking a shit and like stab him through the fucking ass, or something, or some snakes or something down in there. It leads you on to believe this is going to play a big part, and it just, nothing else is mentioned about it. And you have some people like pulling up to the park and spilling a bunch of dishes out and this and that. That doesn't lead to anything. There's just a few scenes where they were going to do something with it maybe, and they decided not to. I don't know. But anyway, on here, you do have a couple of interviews. You have the interview with Welcome to Memorial Valley, an interview with director Robert Hughes, which runs about 13 minutes. And it's a pretty interesting interview. He does talk about the kid who played the caveman, being like a gymnastics, professional gymnastics person, athlete, whatever, and was actually like a what do you call them? Like a reserve for the Olympics. Actually like broke some muscles in his neck, or broke some bones in his neck, and was out for a while. Was told he'd never do gymnastics again. Came back, and that's when he was like an alternate. There you go. That's what I was looking for the Olympics after that. And actually went on to, I believe he did the body work, the stunt work and stuff for I think Donatello in the Ninja Turtles movie and everything. He was actually, he was really good moving wise. And yeah, I really liked his what do you call it? I can't remember. Just all the jumping around and shit. Anyways, but pretty interesting interview with him. And you do have the interview with what was it? Ranger Danger, an interview with John Kerry. Runs about 10 minutes on this one. Of course, he talks about his career, how he got to this point, and everything like that. He talks a lot about William Smith and just being this big, bulky guy, and still working to this day at like 87 years old or some shit. And it sounds like he had a really good time working on this movie and everything. And it's a decent interview. They're both very entertaining interviews altogether. Fairly short. I wish they would have been a little bit longer. I could listen to John Kerry talk all day. I think, like I said, he did great in this movie. But I'm going to try to keep these reviews as short as possible, guys, like 15-20 minutes. This video is going to be long enough as it is, especially after I throw the kills in and all that kind of shit. But if I do these separate after the unboxing, I'll never get to them. So Yeah, Memorial Valley Massacre, Memorial Day, whatever you want to call it. Highly recommend. If you guys haven't picked this one up for Vinegar Syndrome yet, I highly recommend you do so. If nothing else, off Amazon. But if you guys are slipcover fanatics, you got to get it direct from Vinegar Syndrome or like Diabolic or something like that. Yeah, go out, get this movie. If nothing else, stream it. It may or may not be on Tubi. I can't remember. A lot of Vinegar Syndrome titles are. If you guys want, check out my video I did for, why Tubi is the best streaming service, and it's free. There's a ton of Vinegar Syndrome titles on there. So, yeah, Memorial Valley Massacre, guys. Watch this shit. Have a good fucking time. Just turn your brain off, and it's a fun fucking movie. So, moving on. I don't know what I'm going to watch next, but we're going to find out here soon. Alright guys, so it's actually a couple days later after watching Memorial Valley Massacre, and I did go ahead and watch Grave Robbers and Killing Birds. So, the first one I watched was Grave Robbers. Before I move on to that though, I want to say something really quick before I get backlash or any kind of bullshit like that concerning Memorial Valley Massacre, okay? I'm in no way saying that that is a good film by any means, a great film itself. I'm just simply saying I was entertained the whole fucking time. The kills were decent. I liked the little traps and stuff that the killer used and everything. I had fun with it personally. Is it a good movie? No, it's not. Most Vinegar Syndrome movies are not good films in the sense of a well-made film or well-acted or special effects or anything like that. You do have your few gems here and there, but most of them are not good films. So I just wanted to kind of clear the air a little bit on that before people say, ridiculous bullshit. Whatever. I'm just here to give you guys my personal opinion. If I was entertained by the movie, that's important to me. If you're not going to have good character development, which that had really none besides the kid, the father-son thing going on, and if you're not going to have good character development, at least make it entertaining, or a good story, or great special effects. At least make it a fun watch. Anyways, with that being said, Grave Robbers is an actual good film. Now, I wasn't as entertained by this as I was Memorial Valley. Is it, a worthwhile purchase? Probably for you. I've heard nothing but great things about this movie on the Vinegar Syndrome Facebook group and everything like that. So, I'm in the minority, it appears. I was not very entertained by this. I did enjoy some of the effects. The storyline was decent. Everything like that. The acting was, good enough for what it needed to be for this movie. Okay? But I was not personally too intrigued and entertained the whole time I was watching this. Partly because you have to read subtitles the whole fucking movie. Okay? If I want to read, I'll read a fucking book. I don't even read books. You guys know from reading the synopsis on the back of these things, I'm not a very good reader. Not that I can't read, I don't do it often unless I have to. I read at work and things like that when I have to for my job and everything. I can read. I'm not fucking illiterate or anything. I just choose not to, like, in my free time. So, I didn't realize, I guess, at the time that it was a completely subtitled film. Which is fine. I just wasn't expecting it, so I wasn't prepared for it. I was a little bit tired. So that probably took away from this for me personally. Alright. I guess if I would have looked at the back more, which I read everything to you guys, but yeah, I mean, it says right here, it says see, I don't even think it says. It just says newly translated English subtitles, so I didn't know there wasn't an English dub track. Alright. So anyways, all that being said, let's run through the plot real quick. And I'm going to miss a lot of stuff in these reviews, guys, because I'm trying to run through them as quick as possible because this video is already going to be like a million hours long. So there's going to be a lot of subplots and everything like that that I'm not going to touch on. But the basic concept of this movie, you start out in medieval times.
To a magnificent journey into the past. This is medieval times!
With I guess a monk or whatever, doing a sacrifice to a woman to have the child of Satan. Okay, she's all chained up and he's carving 666 into her stomach. The good guys bust in, chain him up to the, what do you call it, where it pulls you, the old medieval torture device, the rack, I think is what it was called, or something like that. Anyways, and drive an axe into him, leave him in the crypt for dead. All right, there's your beginning of the movie. Fast forward to what was then present day. You have a group of grave robbers looking for treasure, looking for gold, shit like that. They fall through the crypt, or through the grave, find the crypt, pull out the axe, bring this guy back to life. All right. So you have this group of grave robbers, and then you have another group of kids, and you don't even see the grave robbers after their the kills take place and everything like that, which I'll get to at the end for the spoilers. Okay. After this, they get chased by the guy that comes back to life, chases him, kills a bunch of fucking people. All right off the bat. So great opening scene. You have your police show up and everything like that. The kids get stuck. They can't get out of the mud and all this shit. And then you don't see them for about 45 minutes of the movie. You focus on another group of kids. And eventually, and in this group of kids, you have the main cop, the sheriff, whatever's daughter in this group of kids too. All right. They're just out, 4 girls just out partying or camping or doing whatever girls do. All right. Hanging out and shit like that. All right. Eventually, the grave robbers get out of jail. They get, chased again by the main killer after he does what he does to the group of girls. And, they start getting killed off and whatnot. And, there's also scenes while they're in the prison that reminded me a lot of other movies, kind of Nightmare on Elm Street-ish, kind of Alien, I guess. I'll throw one scene in here where he's reaching through the wall of the prison, and then the other scene, I don't really know why he went through all this trouble to do these things. Like I say, I'll throw the other scene at the end because I don't want to give away the kills just yet. But it's like, why didn't he go through the front of this prison, just bust through the door and go do what he needed to do? I don't know. I guess because then there wouldn't be these cool effects they wanted to do. Anyways, all that aside, the end of this movie is full of action. All right, the end, the main cop finds this book down in the crypt. He takes it to a priest to translate it because it's in Latin, and the priest is the only one in town that can read Latin, so he has him read that, figure out how to kill this thing, and the end there is a pretty good action sequence going on. There is a glitch within like the last 5 minutes or so, which I'll throw in here without giving too much of the movie away itself, but and I did post a thing on a Facebook group about it, and I guess it's something that's been in the movie forever. But I'm kind of surprised the Vinegar Syndrome didn't take that part out, but I guess they wanted to preserve it in its natural habitat. Anyways, so pretty simple storyline. They remove the action of this guy. He kills a bunch of people. You have 2 sets of people, 2 groups of people, and a lot of people get fucking killed. And decent movie. Okay. Like I said, I just wasn't entertained. Not that there wasn't anything going on. It stayed pretty constant. It stayed pretty steady. Okay, the kills are pretty good, pretty decent effects, especially for, and I'll get to this here in a second, on the special feature with the writer, director, producer, and special effects artist. Okay, interview. They were pretty decent, and there wasn't really a lot of special effects people in Mexico at the time, so I do appreciate that a lot. And say I'm gonna try to keep these reviews really short, guys. Try to keep this at about another 5 minutes. I'm trying to be done, so just bear with me on these. Okay, now next month I probably won't do everything that comes in the package, because I'm going to get the Fun City edition thing, and I'm going to get the VSA release. I'm going to get and it's going to be like 6 titles total. So to put 6 reviews and an unboxing in a video, that thing is going to be long as fuck. So I'll probably just stick to the basic package for that. Anyways, I'm making this longer than I need to right now. So, but like I said, there is an interview with the writer, director, and special effects artist. I already forgot his name. Ruben Galindo Jr. Okay, he talks about some of the other films that he worked on before this. He talks about like the VHS, the U.S. Release of this movie, being surprised on how popular it became in the U.S. He talks about how he became, like I kind of touched on a little bit, he became the special effects artist for this movie because there wasn't anybody in Mexico doing prosthetics and things like that. So he actually contacted, I believe he worked on like Gremlins or something like that, the effects artist in LA. I don't know why I did LA, but so he did a lot of work on this movie. There's one actress in here, the girl that plays the main cop's daughter. I forgot her name already. She was in one of the Bond films here in the U.S., but other than that, she did a lot of Mexican film and TV. No real recognizable faces or anything like that. But like I said, guys, you guys will probably dig this a lot more than I did. It's a cool slasher. The villain has a very Jason-esque, definite build to him, and kind of that feel to him, in his stature, his walk, his everything. He's just kind of has the hood over the whole time, and carrying this big axe, so it's kind of like big old Jason with like a fucking machete and stuff, and things like that. There's definitely a lot of things taken from American horror films at that time, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm glad I've seen this movie. I'm glad to have it in the collection. It's one I wouldn't mind revisiting. Like I said, I just wasn't expecting to have to read for a fucking hour and a half. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on to Killing Birds. Alright, guys. So, Killing Birds, or Zombie 5. Zombie 5, Killing Birds. There was a commentary track on here, too, with, what was it, Hysteria Continues. I listened to about a half an hour of it. Pretty interesting. That's the first commentary track I've heard from them guys. They seem pretty cool. I usually try to listen to about a half an hour of the commentaries just to kind of give you guys, an overall thought. They didn't really have a whole lot of information to provide for the film. It seemed like they had a hard time trying to figure out stuff. Like they were trying to figure out if the actor playing the monk that's doing the sacrifice at the beginning played him dead as well. And they couldn't find any information on that and everything. But pretty interesting commentary from what I heard. So moving on, like I said, to Killing Birds here. Not sure why it's called Killing Birds. Not sure why it's called Zombie 5. Or even the Raptors, I don't know. This movie, wow. What a piece of shit. I knew it was going to be bad going into it. I did not have high expectations for it. My hood drives me insane. Anyways, yeah. Now, okay, we'll start with a simple plot. Okay, this movie starts out fucking awesome. All right, I was so excited when I saw the beginning of this movie. I was like, man, people were fucking wrong. People's opinions suck, you know. Starts out with fucking John Rambo coming home from the war, getting off the bus or whatever the fuck it was, the truck or whatever. I already fucking forgot. Anyways, I'll throw the clip in here. And gets home. There's birds right out the gate, all right, at this house that he goes to. And I didn't even know this is what happened until I listened to some of the commentary. I was assuming this is what happened. He goes in, sees his old lady with another man, starts fucking killing people. All right, the death scenes are pretty cool. There's a lot of throat slashing. It seems like mostly throat slashing, actually. There's a couple times you can see him like moving afterwards, and there's one, and I'll throw these kills again at the end of this video, guys. There's one where it seems he starts about here, and after you see the effect of it, after you see the special effects, it starts like way back here. I don't know, just kind of nitpicking, but that's the least of my concern with this fucking movie. All right, so after a bunch of people are killed, there's a child left. He's hauled off to some facility. The bodies just fucking disappear to everyone that he killed, and you fast forward some odd years later. I'm guessing about 20 years later. This all took place in like the 60s. This is the 80s, or is it 90? 87. So it's like 20 years fucking later, and you have a group of graduates going out to find this rare fucking woodpecker or some shit. This rare bird. You have a lot of scenes of a lot of doing nothing. You have a lot of this, a little bit of that, and some of this. For about 45 fucking minutes of the movie, nothing fucking happens. They go talk to this guy. Eventually, he gets his eyes gouged out at the beginning of this movie by the birds. I'll go ahead and give that away because that's like a main plot point to the film. Okay. They go talk to him. The guy, I think his name was Steve. He feels his face and everything to see what he looks like. That comes into play later on. They eventually get to this house where everything took place, 20 years prior, and finally some things start happening. Steve starts having some visions and things like that of one of them of a girl being like crucified up against the wall, and then she's like smiling at him, and then nothing really happens for a little bit. One person dies, nothing happens for a while, and then other people start getting killed too. Eventually the main guy comes back, played by Robert Vaughn, by the way, according to the interview with the sound guy on this, who was Larry Ravine. They had to have, a big name attached to this for like cable, like your HBOs, your Showtime, stuff like that, to be able to pick this thing up. So I feel like I'm pretty far away from the mic. Let's try to. I don't know. Anyways, so if you guys don't know who Robert Vaughn is, he's been in so many movies, TV shows, things like that, from The Magnificent Seven to Steve McQueen's movie Bullet. I know it wasn't Steve McQueen's movie, but the movie he was in, Bullet. He was in Towering Inferno. Everyone's favorite, Chud too, Bud the Chud, right? The A-Team. The list goes on and on. This guy is a huge star, 70s, 80s, shit like that. So he worked for like a day or two, something like that, according to that interview. Yeah, so I already forgot my train of thought. Forgot where I was. Anyways, so yeah, you're introduced to his character. He kind of tells the kids, they're looking for this bird, and he kind of plays some footage for them of the sounds of the birds that he's been like tracking and things like that. It doesn't really play into the fucking story at all. I mean, the whole birds don't even play into the story hardly at all, besides that opening where they gouge his fucking eyes out. Robert Vaughn's character. Um, and then from there, the kids get stuck at the house, like I said, like I already mentioned. And that's where your zombie title comes into play, because there's like a couple zombies. I don't know why they were zombies. It never really tells you how they became zombies. I have no fucking idea whatsoever. And still don't know why it's called Killing Birds. There's no birds doing any killing. There's no birds doing anything but kind of flying around. I mean, there's birds in the movie. Okay, I'll give it that. But yeah, I don't know. Nobody seems to know. So, anyways, there is a couple decent kills. The first zombie kill is pretty cool. Again, these will be at the end of the video to not spoil everything. But there is a cool scene on the first zombie kill. There's another one that I have no idea what happened there, and there's another one that you're kind of knowing this is going to happen earlier on in the movie, when they first get to this house, a way a certain person dies, and then it finally does happen. But and then yeah, I don't know. And then the movie just kind of fucking ends. Robert Vaughn's character shows up to this house that they're at. He kind of says something, and then all of a sudden they figure out, this is his son. I think he calls him son, but a lot of people call people son, especially if they're old enough to be their dad. And then the chick's like, "Oh, this is your dad." And then Robert Vaughn's character just says, you can't show them fear and all this, and he doesn't fear anything, tells them to leave, he'll handle this. And then once they go out of the house, the movie just fucking ends. I don't know what happens at the end. I couldn't tell you, because it doesn't tell you in the movie. So I don't know. This one was just a complete piece of fucking shit. A couple decent deaths. The opening scene is fucking awesome. Really was impressed by the opening scene. I don't know what their issue was with trying to display fog. I know this was filmed in like Mississippi and New Orleans in like the summer, so it was like really hot and everything like that. So I don't know if that was an effect of that, or they were trying to go for like a fog effect. But a lot of the scenes they were shooting outside, when they mentioned something of a fog, the camera is just in this weird like haze, I guess, and it was kind of like hard on my eyes a little bit. I don't know why, but usually probably because I'm usually half asleep when I'm watching these fucking things. Anyways, I don't know. That just kind of like, it drove me nuts. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there too. But yeah, for the features on here, like I'd already touched on, there is that interview with the sound guy, Larry Ravine, which was pretty interesting. He talks about his how he became the sound guy on here. He's normally like a DP on movies and everything like that, so for him to do the sound on this was a little bit different for him. Italians aren't known for doing sound. They dub everything and things like that, so they wanted somebody that kind of knew what they were doing in film in general to do the sound on here, even though he wasn't a sound person. It's a decent interview, and even in that one, he talks about like the name of the movie, and he has no idea why it's called that. And he talks about some other titles that were in play, and he's like, it was a lot better title than what they were gonna use. So, and then you have a like 50-minute plus interview. That's your extended interview with director Claudio Latanzi. I'll be honest with you guys, after watching Grave Robbers and having to read an hour and a half of fucking subtitles, I only watched about a half an hour of this interview. But from what I did read, what I did watch, well, because I had to read to watch, it was pretty interesting. He talks about his work with Dario Argento on some films. and things like that, working on what is it, the history of horror thing with Dario Argento's like kind of documentary thing, and some other films, and his involvement with the group that put this out, the Filmz, something like that. I was trying to see what it said on the back here, but disc and menu, special features, blah blah, broadcasting prohibited by law, motion pictures protected by law. It doesn't say what studio this was. Huh, it's kind of interesting. Anyways, really long interview. I would like to go back and listen to the rest of it, or read the rest of it. But like I said, at that point, after just watching Grave Robbers, I wasn't going to read for another hour damn near. But I appreciate that it's a really long interview with the director. I'm sure it's very full of information. So that's cool. But yeah, I didn't look to see what IMDb gave this one. They gave Grave Robbers 6.1, which, okay, I can understand that. I would say this is probably like a 3. All right. Awesome cover though. The cover is fucking balls, man. That is sick. It's all embossed on the killing birds. It's blood dripping down. It's, you know, it's sick, you know, especially when it has the Zombie 5 on there. There is a commentary on here as well with what's her name? Oh, this is has an Italian dubbed soundtrack on here as well. Sam Deegan. I did listen to, again, about a half an hour of that, which most of that just touched on why this was called Zombie 5. So she goes through like the history of why Italians take the names of like American movies and use that. And there's some touch on, I think it's with the sound guy interview, or her, I can't remember, kind of how like The Walking Dead is like a zombie show, but there's sometimes like they don't mention the actual name Walking Dead, they say TV series, but from what I got from it, like you're watching that, you'll have episodes with no zombies, but yet it's still called The Walking Dead. So like there's movies called like Zombie, but they don't necessarily feature zombies, okay? And this barely featured zombies, just there at the very end. And so she talks about how, you know, from Dawn of the Dead being called Zombie, and the Italian version, and there's Zombie 2, and, you know, the whole, like, series of Italian movies referring to zombies as well, to be part of, like, a series, things like that. Just slapping the name on there. I mean, they called, you know, what you call it, fucking Texas Chainsaw 3. You know, you have to attach that name because that's what's popular at the time, is like zombie movies. So you throw that name on there, people are going to see it because it's called Zombie. But most of the commentary from that point, anyways, is just talking about that. But it's very fascinating, very interesting. She seems very, very intelligent. So I would like to go back and listen to the rest of that commentary. It's probably better than the fucking movie, to be honest with you guys. So let's go watch Spellcaster, shall we? Because after I need to get this taste out of my mouth after watching this fucking shit. I can't recommend this one at all, guys. I just pass on this altogether. If you want to stream it, cool. Watch the opening. Fast forward to the last 10-15 minutes. Save yourself a lot of time if people stand around doing nothing. And like I said, if I wasn't a Vinegar Syndrome enthusiast and collector and everything like that, I would definitely get rid of this. But you know, I love the company and I appreciate what they do. So yeah, that's an hour and a half or so of my life I'll never get back. But hey, you know, shit happens, right? Probably the worst Vinegar Syndrome title I've watched so far, to be honest with you guys. So, yeah, let's move on to Spellcaster. This one's gone on long enough. I think I went over my mark I was wanting. Alright, Spellcaster, Adamant. Let's do this shit. Alright, guys, on to the last film, movie, whatever, of this video. The VSA release for Spellcaster. This is, I believe, my first VSA release that I've watched. Yeah, so, and I just want to say thank you so much, Spellcaster, for redeeming some of that atrocity that was Killing Birds. I did not want to leave my Vinegar Syndrome watching for this time with Killing Birds. Way better than that. Not by any means a great film or anything like that, but it was entertaining. I had a lot of fun with it, and way better than that shit. I'm not sure I saw like these creatures here on the front. Oh yeah. There's a scene with. Okay. Yeah, but you do get some of this here on the back. But you don't get any real nudity, so no nudity-free month from Vinegar Syndrome there. You almost get some in one scene, but they cut it a little short. Anyways, from 1988, of course, I was going to say starring Adam Ant, but it's not really starring Adam Ant, but we'll get to that here in a second. Anyways, so basic concept of this, so you got 7 people that are selected to go stay the weekend at a castle in Italy, and during their stay they have a scavenger hunt for a check for $1 million. And that's your basic premise of this movie. First person to find it wins, and that's it. Hosted by this video jockey and celebrity staying with them, Cassandra, Castle being her name, hence staying in a castle. And yeah, it's a fun watch. About 30 minutes into this, the castle kind of takes a life of its own, and you see some things moving around. You see this chair of a lion or whatever it is kind of come to life with its claws, and the mouth of this chair comes alive, and that's when you get your first kill in this movie. 30 minutes in. Alright, we're doing good. After that, the main star of this weekend, this Cassandra, who's a musician whose video plays at the beginning of this movie, and she's also the chick from the Take On Me music video from Aha, which was really popular back in the 80s. Very, very popular music video. And she stumbles upon this room full of, I'll say, zombies, and that's where you have like those images from the front cover, and she tries to kind of explain what happened, but she doesn't really get to it because she doesn't think anybody's going to believe her, to the video jockey guy. I forgot everybody else's name. Anyways, this is a couple days after I watched this, so my memory sucks. I did take a few notes so I could explain things to you guys a little bit, but anyways, yeah, and then about 50 minutes in, you get some things happening with the check. The whole time that they're there is a hand that is supposed to be Senor Diablo's hand, who is played by Adam Ant. I'm not really sure if that's his hand even the whole time. They never even say in the features, and I was hoping that they would, because I know he was only on set for like a day. You get a short glimpse of him at the very beginning of the movie when they first arrive at the castle. He's looking out this window and everything. And then you don't see Adam Ant until the last 10 minutes of this movie. So, yeah, I'm very disappointed in that. But anyways, so like I say, you do have a crystal ball where Senor Diablo is kind of controlling what happens to people throughout the time that they're at the castle. And about 50 minutes in, the check is flying around and doing what it does, and that leads to another participant meeting their demise. Then, shortly after that, you have the heavy-set character, I'll say this in nice terms, gets turned into a fucking pig after eating a pig. Yeah, very, very interesting transition there. Very creative, thoughtful kind of thing to throw into a movie like this. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to read my own writing here. You have a kind of, I didn't even know what to call it, and what I wrote down, it doesn't really describe it, but you have a light of green, I just said like glow stick. Someone is killed by a glow stick, basically. This chick is kind of following this light around that's in this room, and yeah, you have a death and from that somehow. Not really sure how, and then you do have some other things that come to life. You have a creature that busts through like this window, I do believe, and looks pretty cool. Not exactly sure what it is. It's kind of like a wolf-looking character of some sort. And you have a knight eventually that comes to life as well and attacks the video jockey, who's like the main host and everything of this contest. And that's a pretty fun, interesting scene. Again, I'll show all the deaths at the end of this video, coming up here right after this review. And because I don't want to spoil everything for you guys, I'll kind of tell you what happens without giving it all away. And then I'll give it all away at once. But yeah, that scene's pretty entertaining. And not really sure what happens here at the end. You guys will see if you stick around for the spoilers. Again, that's when you finally see Adamant after that for the last 10 minutes of this film. But the 10 minutes he's in here, he does really, really well. I'm not really a big Adam Ant fan. I don't really know a lot about him. I know the song Goody Two Shoes, but that's about it. But he seems like a really interesting character. So I might dive more into what he was all about and everything. But that's your basis of this movie. It was shot. Oh man, things just going on. I don't know what that was. Anyways, probably from drinking 2-3 Monsters a day and then Mountain Dew in between. So who knows? Anyways, during the interviews and stuff on here, you do find out this is actually shot in a real castle, which was Charles Band's castle in Italy that he owned. And I'm thinking the whole time I'm watching this movie, man, this castle looks fucking awesome. They did a great job on this set. Wasn't a set, besides the room that Signor Diablo is in. That part was a set. But the rest of the castle is a real castle. Very old, Italian castle. And sounds like they had a really good time making this movie. So, yeah, that really adds a lot of flair to this film. And I thought that was pretty cool. And to own a castle would be just fucking awesome. I did hear it was extremely. I mean, there's no heat or air or anything, so it was just like, you're dealing with the elements, whatever. But it sounds like they had a great time. A lot of partying on the beach and things like that in Italy, and seeing the sights out there. So yeah, for the features on here, you do get an interview with actor Richard Blade. I noticed something on here that I did not notice earlier, and it does say there's an interview with the director on here. There is not an interview with the director on here, and it doesn't mention anything about this interview with Richard Blade, who plays the video jockey, or the special effects guy's interview. Does not mention that on here whatsoever. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but that is kind of fucking rare for Vinegar Syndrome to mess up like that. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But anyways, there is an interview with Richard Blade on here, which is a pretty fun interview. It sounds like he had a great time as this role, and he was actually like a DJ. He had like his own radio show or whatever, which was it was Rock TV was the name of his station or whatever, and that's who the name they used for this movie as well. And actually in the movie, he's wearing his own shirt, says Richard Blade on it, which I found pretty interesting. And of course, talks about his time in Italy and everything like that, and how much fun it was, and how cool it was to shoot in the real castle and everything. And how he remains friends with a lot of people in here, as well as in the interview coming up that I'll talk about, the stunt guys, effects guys remain friends with people as well. So that's pretty cool that they were like this family, cast. They all kind of shared a lot of the same living space and things like that for the time that they were over there. And yeah, pretty entertaining interview, and he seems like a really great guy. So that was cool. But moving on. And then you have a interview on here too with the special effects guys. It's called Slime Jockeys. Runs about 20 minutes. Very entertaining interview too. They talk about how, not to give too much of the film away here before the spoilers, but I'll go ahead and give this death scene away because it happens very early on, and the characters, are out of the movie pretty quick. They play the camera guys, the special effects people who worked on this film play the camera guys in the movie, and very early on they are killed off with an explosion in a car. Not exactly sure why it exploded. I guess they just wanted a part in this movie, and they do talk about how their short-lived dialogue, they had to read off of the cue cards and everything like that because they were by no means actors. The one guy talks about how he did want to be an actor, but they just stuck with special effects instead. And it seems like from their interview that they had just a great time filming this, and remained friends with people from the movie and everything like that. So it was a very down-to-earth, very interesting interview. And the one guy reminds me of like a Jack Black. He seems like I don't know if he's trying to be that way or if he just is that way, but I got that kind of vibe from him, from his from everything to his build to his just demeanor. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's really about it for your features, is the 2 interviews. There is no commentary or anything like that, but yeah, pretty fun, entertaining movie. And I know everybody has complained about how hard this is to get back in there. I find if you push in on the case a little bit as you're putting it in, it's not so bad. But yeah, very awesome case here for Spellcaster, and I'm excited to go revisit the previous VSA releases. If they're half as fun as this, then cool. Yeah, that's really about all I have for Spellcaster. Just a fun time. You do have like a character in here who's kind of like a sleazebag, kind of womanizing character, so you don't feel too bad for this guy when certain things happen to him. But there is a lot of other times where some women are kind of leading some men on. There's one of the better looking women, and all the women in here are absolutely fucking gorgeous, by the way, is trying to get a clue, a hint from the video jockey of where the chick is, and the whole time too they're keeping the check for themselves. They don't even hide the check in the castle. The Cassandra character kind of keeps it with her the whole time, so it's pretty much rigged from the beginning. So that's awesome. Yeah. So stay tuned for all the kills and everything, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy these movies. I enjoyed all of them except for the Killing Birds. Other than that, pretty solid month, and ready to see next month's releases. And yeah, so let's check out these kills.
Sounded like a scream. Don't get spooked.
How you want your stay?
Well done.
You smell gay.
Like that? That's right. Not too tight, though. God, no. Don't hurt me. You're hurting me. You're squeezing me too hard.
No! Stay away from me with that! No! Hey, man! Stop it! Hey, get back! Look out! Hey! No! Hey, man! Wait! Oh!
We're getting out of here.
God, I sure wish I could be sure. Steven.
Ustedes quédense aquí. Vamos.
I'm Cy Diabolo here on Rock TV, America's #1 video music channel. You know, it's rather extraordinary the number of times I've overheard people say, "Oh, I'd give anything to be a rock and roll star." Well, I've dreamt up this little competition which could result in just that. The winner gets it all. A 5-year recording contract, $1 million in cash, and the chance to go all the way. It's an offer you simply can't refuse. Interested? You should be. Let me tell you about it. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin.